Hey, I'm Tom, and this is Prima Facie, where the truth doesn't need a study, just a little honesty. We all love a good underdog story. The single mom who works 2 jobs and still puts her kid through college, the kid from the rough neighborhood who makes it to Wall Street, or the immigrant who arrives with nothing and he builds a business empire. We eat those stories up because they confirm what we want to believe, that the playing field is level, that success is earned, and failure, well, that's earned too. But here's the truth. If we're going to justify extreme winners and extreme losers, if we're going to sleep at night believing billionaires deserve their yachts and the homeless guy deserves his tent, then the game had better be fair. And it's not. People love to say they earned their success, but inheritance does play a major role. Studies suggest about a third of people in the top 20% of wealth received a direct inheritance. But the biggest smoking gun isn't inheritance. It's the odds of climbing into the top 20% from the bottom. Of kids born into the top 20%, 39% stay there as adults. But the kids that are born into the bottom 20%, only 4% ever climb to the top 20. That means the child of a wealthy family is 10 times more likely to end up on top than the child of a poor family. Does that sound fair or pretty close? Nope. I'd call it embarrassingly unfair. So if you want to believe success is just about hard work, you also have to believe the rich are some kind of super race miraculously working harder every single generation to make it to the top. As ridiculous as that sounds, that's the fantasy you'd have to buy if you think this is a fair system. You want more proof? Well, look at neighborhoods. In the US, your zip code is more predictive of your future than your grades, your talent, or your effort. That's not a metaphor, that's data. The right zip code gets you stability, mentors, safe streets, and strong schools. The wrong zip code gets you crime, chaos, and underfunded classrooms. That's not merit, that's a map. So let's put this in human terms. Let's meet 2 kids. I'll call them Moore and Les. Moore grows up in a quiet suburb, 2 parents, $250,000 income, private tutors, summer camps, a college fund. Les, he grows up in the city, single mom, $38,000 income, overcrowded schools, no car, no savings, no safety net. One gets 18 years of coaching, the other gets 18 years of surviving. And let's be clear, Moore might work hard. That's not the issue. The issue is that Moore's hard work, it's rewarded with opportunity, income, and stability. Les might work just as hard or even harder, but he'll still barely get by. Educated parents don't just pass on money either. They pass on knowledge. They explain taxes, investing, retirement accounts, how to pick a major, avoid debt, how to negotiate a salary. Les's mom loves him just as much, but no one taught her those things. So he grows up blind to the system he's expected to navigate. Upper income families speak millions more words with their kids, and not just more words, more complex words. That shapes how a child thinks, writes, and sounds. And in America, sounding smart gets you treated as being smart. Les might be just as intelligent, maybe more so, but if he uses broken grammar or heavy slang, he'll be judged, underestimated, dismissed before he even gets a chance. Then there are the unwritten rules: how to dress for an interview, how to ask for a raise, how to order a fancy lunch, how to email a professor. Moore learns those at home without even realizing it. Les, he never gets the playbook. Moore doesn't start adulthood in a hole. Parents pay for college, help with rent, buy a car. They float him through a rough patch or two. Les, however, he works 30 hours a week in school, graduates with $40,000 in debt, and has nobody to catch him when he falls. Moore's parents know people: the lawyer, the banker, the manager who owes them a favor. That's how resumes get pulled from the stack. Les, he's told just to network, but with who? And here's the part people forget. For many that are in the top 20%, the help doesn't stop at 18. Parents keep pitching in: a down payment for the first house, cash for a remodel, help with medical bills, dental work, credit cards, or debt. That isn't just financial support, it's freedom. Because when you know someone will catch you if you fall, you can take risks the poor never can. You can start a business, switch careers, try something bold. Les doesn't get that chance. One wrong step and he's done. So imagine this is a race. One kid starts at the starting line, the other starts 50 yards back. When the first one wins, are we really going to clap and say, wow, what a hard worker? Because that's exactly what we do in America every day. So why does this even matter? Because the fantasy of fairness is the excuse we use to do nothing. It's how we sleep at night while others drown. We tell ourselves the game is fair, that anyone who fails just didn't work hard enough. So we oppose the very programs that could help. We call them unfair. Unfair? After everything I just laid out, that's not just wrong, it's laughable. We use the myth of meritocracy to protect our comfort, justify imbalance, and blame the victims for their own struggle. Here's the truth. Hard work matters, but it's not the whole story, and it never has been. When we pretend it is, we do two things. We blame people for failing when they actually lacked opportunity, and we excuse ourselves from trying to fix the system. If we want a country where success is truly earned, we have to stop pretending we already live in one, because nothing will change until we stop lying to ourselves about what the system really rewards. This is Prima Facie. If this hit the mark, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.